Testing.
Near the beginning of this or later? That.
शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ममोपात्तसमस्तदुर्दक्षेद्वारा श्रीपरमेश्वरप्रीत्यर्थं तदेव लग्नं सुदिनं तदेव ताराबलं चन्द्रबलं तदेव विद्याबलं देवबलं तदेव लक्ष्मीपतेतेः अङ्ग्रियुगं स्मरामि। करिष्यमाणस्य कर्मणः निर्विघ्नेन परसमाप्त्यर्थम् आदौ महागणपतिपूजां करिष्यादौ महागणपतिपूजां करिष्ये। ओं गणानां गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत आदशृण्वन्नोदिवेत्सेदसादनम्। ओं भूर्भुवस्वरमस्मिन् बिम्बे सुमुखं महागणपतिं ध्यायामि आवाहयामि रत्नसिंहासनं समर्पयामि पादयोः पाद्यं समर्पयामि अर्घ्यं समर्पयामि आचमनीं समर्पयामि भूर्भुवस्वः स्नानं समर्पयामि स्नानानन्तरम् आचमनीं समर्पयामि वस्त्रार्थम् उपवीतार्थं पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि आभरणार्थं पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि दिव्यपरिमलगन्धान् धारयामि हरिद्रा कुङ्कुमं समर्पयामि पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओं सुमुखाय नमः ओं एकदन्ताय नमः ओं कपिलाय नमः ओं गजकर्णकाय नमः ओं लम्बोदराय नमः ओं विकटाय नमः ओं विघ्नराजाय नमः ओं विनायकाय नमः ओं धूमकेतवे नमः ओं गणाध्यक्षाय नमः ओं बालचन्द्राय नमः ओं गजाननाय नमः ॐ वक्रतुण्डाय नमः ॐ शूर्पकर्णाय नमः ॐ हेरम्भाय नमः ॐ स्कन्दपूर्वजाय नमः ॐ श्रीसिद्धिविनायकस्वामिने नमः नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि धूपदीपार्थमक्षतां समर्पयामि ओम नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रपदपतये नमस्ते लंबोदराय कदंताय विघ्नविनाशिने शिवसुताय श्री भरतमूर्तये नमो नमः महागणपतये नमः अलंकार कर्पूरनीराजनं प्रदर्शयामि आचमनीयं समर्पयामि रक्षां धारयामि ओम हरा सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विगडो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षो बालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डसूत्पकर्णो हेरम्बस्कन्दपूर्वजः कलासङ्ख्यानि नामानि यःपठेष्वृणीयादपि विद्यारम्भे विवाहे च प्रवेशे निर्गमे तथा सङ्ग्रामे सर्वकार्येषु विघ्नस्तस्य न जायते महागणपतये नमः प्रार्थनानि समर्पयामि ओम शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्न उपशान्तये ममोपात्तसमस्तदुरितक्षयद्वारा श्रीपरमेश्वरप्रीत्यर्थम् अद्य पूर्वोक्तये मङ्गलविशेषणवतिष्ठायां वश्याम् अमावास्यायां शुभदितो सर्वेषां भक्तमहाजनानां क्षेमस्थैर्यधैर्यवीर्यविजयायुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्याणाम् अभिवृद्ध्यर्थं धर्मार्थकाममोक्षचतुर्वेदफलपुरुषार्थसिद्ध्यर्थं ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं मोक्षदां राज्यसिद्ध्यर्थं धनधान्यसमृद्ध्यर्थं दीपावली पुण्यकाले लक्ष्मी कुबेर पूजां करिष्ये आदौ कलशादिपूजां च करिष्ये अपूर्वश्वस्यान् गणानां गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवश्रवत्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदाडशृण्वन्नोदिवेत्सेदसादनम् अस्मिन्ने बिम्बे सुमुखं महागणपतिं यथास्थानं प्रतिष्ठापयामि क्षोभनार्थे क्षेमाय गुणरा आगमनाय च कलशस्य मुखे विष्णुकण्ठे रुद्रश्रमाश्रिताः मूले तस्त्रस्थितो ब्रह्मा मध्ये महादुर्गणाः स्मृताः कुक्षो दशागराः सर्वे सप्तद्वीपवसुन्धरा ऋग्वेदो यजुर्वेदः सामवेदोऽप्यतर्कः अङ्गैश्चदगिताः सर्वे कलशां कुसुमात्मजाः गङ्गे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिन्धु कावेरी जलेऽस्मिन् सन्निधिं कुरु आयान्ति देवि पूजार्थं दुरितक्षयकारकाः पूजाद्रव्याणि प्रोक्ष्य आत्मानं च प्रोक्ष्य आत्मने नमः दिव्यपरिमलगन्धां धारयामि आत्मने नमः कल्गुणात्मने नमः ओं गुरुभ्यो नमः ओं गङ्गणपतये नमः त्वं सरस्वत्यै नमः त्वं आदिकूर्माय नमः त्वं आदिवराहाय नमः त्वं स्वेदच्छत्राय नमः त्वं स्वेदचापराभ्यां नमः त्वं हिरण्यवर्णां हरिणीं सुवर्णरजतध्वजां चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं यादवेतो भावः ताम् आवह यादवेतो लक्ष्मीमडवगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं विद्धेयं यावत्तं पुरुषानकम् अश्वपूर्वां रथमत्याम् अश्विनादप्रबोधिनीं श्रियं देवीमुपह्वये श्रीर्मादेवीर्जुडदां कां सोऽस्तां हिरण्यप्राकारामार्द्रां ज्वलन्तीं तृप्तां तर्पयन्तीं पद्मे स्थितां पद्मवर्णां ताविकोपह्वये श्रियं चन्द्रां प्रभासाय ससा ज्वलन्तीं श्रियं लोके देवदुट्टावतारां तां पद्मिनीमीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये लक्ष्मीर्मेण तदा त्वां वृणे आदित्यवर्णे तपसोऽधिजातो वनस्पतिस्तव वृक्षोऽधिबिम्बः तस्य फलानि तपसानुदन्तमायान्तरायाश्च भाग्या अलक्ष्मीः उपयजवान् देवसः कीर्तिश्रमणिनोतः प्रादद्भूतोऽस्मिरास्वेष्टिं कीर्तिवर्गन्ददास्मे क्षुद्विभासामलाञ्चेष्टावलक्ष्मीर्नापयाम्नाम् अभूतिमसमर्थिं च सर्वान् निर्णदमे गृहात् गन्धद्वारान् दुरादर्शान् नित्यपुष्टां करीषिणीं ईश्वरेकं सर्वभूतानां तामिकोपक्वये श्रियं चन्द्रां प्रभासां यशसा ज्वलन्ति श्रियं लोके देवदुष्टामुतारां तां पद्मिनीमीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये लक्ष्मीर्मेण स्थिता त्वां वृणे आदित्यवर्णे तपसोदिजातो वनस्पतिस्तव वृक्षोदिवृद्वः तस्य बलानि तपसानुदन्तवायान्तरायाश्च वाक्या अलक्ष्मीः उपैतवान् देवसः कीर्तिश्रमणिनाथः प्रादुर्भूतोऽस्मिरास्वेष्टिं कीर्तिवर्धं ददास्मे क्षुप्पिवाथमलान् ज्येष्ठवलक्ष्मीर्नाथयाभ्याम् अभूतिमथमर्धिञ्च सर्वान् निर्णितमे गृहात् गन्धद्वारान् दुरादर्शान् विद्यपुष्टान् करीषिणीं ईश्वरेकं सर्वभूतानां लोभक्वये श्रियं मनसः काममाकूतिं वासत्सत्यपदीप्ये पशूनां रूपवण्डस्तवैश्रेश्रयथा कृतः कर्दमेन प्रजाभूतामयि सम्भवकर्तव श्रियं वा श्रियमे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीम् आपसृजन्त सिक्तानि सिक्लयितवथमे गृहे निजदेवीं मातरं श्रियं वा श्रियमे कुले आर्द्रां पुष्करणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्याभिरण्मये लक्ष्मीर्यादवेदो भावः आर्द्रां यत्करणीं यष्टिं पिङ्गला पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीर्यादवेदो भावः ताम् आवहयादवेदो लक्ष्मीमनमहामिनीः यस्यां हिरण्यप्रभूतगावोध शोष्ठाने विद्येय पुरुषाणः महादेव्ये च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात् यक्षाय कुबेराय वैश्रवणाय धनधान्याधिपतये धनधान्यसमृद्धिं मे देहि तापय स्वाहा अस्मिन् चित्रपटे लक्ष्मीं ध्यायामि कुबेरं ध्यायामि आवाहयामि रत्नसिंहासनं समर्पयामि पादयोः आद्यं समर्पयामि अर्घ्यं समर्पयामि आचमनीयं समर्पयामि भोर्भुवस्वः स्नानं समर्पयामि आपोगिष्ठामयो भुवस्तारभूर्जे ददातन महेरणाय चक्षते योमशिवदभवसरथस्य भाजे देवः उशतीरिव मातरः तस्मारङ्गमामवो यक्षक्षयाय जिह्वतः आपो जनयदातनः भोर्भुवस्वो भोर्भुवस्व भोर्भुवस्वः स्नानं समर्पयामि स्नानानन्तरम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि वस्त्रार्थम् उपवीतार्थं पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि आभरणार्थं पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि दिव्यपरिमलगन्धानि धारयामि हरिद्रा कुङ्कुमं समर्पयामि पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि पुष्पैः पूजयामि।
ओम प्रकृत्यै नमः ओम विकृत्यै नमः ओम विद्यायै नमः ओम सर्वभूतहितप्रदायै ओम श्रद्धायै नमः ओम विभूत्यै नमः ओम सुरभ्यै ओम परमात्मिकायै नमः ओम वाचे नमः ओम पद्मालयायै नमः ओम पद्मायै ओम शुचये नमः ओम स्वाहायै नमः ओम स्वधायै ओम सुधायै नमः ओम धन्यायै नमः ओम हिरण्मय्यै नमः ओम लक्ष्म्यै नमः ओम नित्यपुष्टायै नमः ओम विभावर्यै नमः ओम अदित्यै नमः ओम दित्यै नमः ओम दीप्तायै नमः ओम वसुधायै नमः ओम वसुधारण्यै नमः ओम कमलायै नमः कान्तायै नमः ओम कामाक्ष्यै नमः ओम क्रोधसंभवायै नमः ओम अनुग्रहप्रदायै नमः ओम बुद्धये नमः ओम अनघायै ओम हरिवल्लभायै नमः ओम अशोकायै नमः ओम अमृतायै ओम दीप्तायै नमः ओम लोकशोकविनाशिन्यै नमः ओम धर्मनिलयायै नमः ओम करुणायै नमः ओम लोकमात्रे नमः ओम पद्मप्रियायै नमः ओम पद्महस्तायै नमः ओम पद्माक्ष्यै ओम पद्मसुंदर्यै नमः ओम पद्मोद्भवायै नमः ओम पद्ममुख्यै ओम पद्मनाभप्रियायै नमः ओम रमायै नमः ओम पद्ममालाधरायै ओम देव्यै नमः ओम पद्मिन्यै नमः ओम पद्मगन्धिन्यै ओम पुण्यगंधायै नमः ओम सुप्रसन्नायै नमः प्रसादाभिमुख्यै नमः ओम प्रभायै नमः ओम चंद्रवदनायै ओम चंद्रायै नमः ओम चंद्रसहोदर्यै नमः ओम चतुर्भुजायै ओम चंद्ररूपायै नमः ओम इंदिरायै नमः ओम इंदुशीतलायै ओम आह्लादजनन्यै नमः ओम पुष्ट्यै नमः शिवायै नमः ओम शिवकर्यै नमः ओम सत्यै नमः ओम विमलायै ओम विश्वजनन्यै नमः ओम तुष्ट्यै नमः दारिद्र्यनाशिन्यै नमः ओम प्रीतिपुष्करिण्यै नमः ओम शान्तायै नमः शुक्लमाल्याम्बरायै नमः ओम श्रियै नमः ओम भास्कर्यै नमः ओम बिल्वनिलयायै नमः ओम वरारोहायै नमः यशस्विन्यै नमः ओम वसुंधरायै नमः ओम उदारांगायै नमः ओम हरिण्यै नमः ओम हेममालिन्यै ओम धनधान्यकर्यै नमः ओम सिद्धये नमः ओम स्त्रैणसौम्यायै नमः ओम शुभप्रदायै नमः ओम नृपवेश्मगतानन्दायै नमः ओम वरलक्ष्म्यै ओम वसुप्रदायै नमः ओम शुभायै नमः हिरण्यप्राकारायै नमः ओम समुद्रतनयायै नमः ओम जयायै नमः ओम मंगलादेव्यै ओम विश्वस्थितायै नमः ओम विष्णुपत्न्यै ओम प्रसन्नाक्ष्यै नमः ओम नारायणसमाश्रितायै ओम दारिद्र्यध्वंसिन्यै नमः ओम देव्यै नमः ओम सर्वोपद्रववारिण्यै ओम नवदुर्गायै नमः ओम महाकाल्यै ओम ब्रह्मविष्णुशिवात्मिकायै नमः ओम त्रिकालज्ञानसम्पन्नायै नमः ओम भुवनेश्वर्यै नमः
यक्षाय कुबेराय वैष्णवाय धनधान्याधिपतये धनधान्यसमृद्धिं मे देवितापय स्वाहा यक्षाय नानाविधपरिमितपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम धूरधिधूर्वधूर्वन्तं धूर्वदयोस्मान् धूर्वदितं धूर्वयं भयं धूर्वामः धूपमाग्रापयामि धूपानन्तरम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। Mahalakshmi Mahalankara Karpura Nirajanam Pradharshayami Rakshan Dharayami Achapanim Savarpayami Om Haram Yopam Pushpam Pushpavan Prajavan Pushpavan Bhavati Chandramabham Pushpam Pushpavan Prajavan Pushpavan Bhavati Yevam Veta Yogamayatan Deva Ayatanavan Bhavati Vedoktam Pushpanjali Samarpayami Yani Kani Chapapani Janmantaragatani Chan Tani Tani Vidashanti Pradakshapade Prikashtapapanasaya Prikashtapaladitayam Pradakshinam Karo Vidva Prasid Parameshwari Anyatha Saranam Nastit Paveva Saranam Mama Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Raksharakra Maheshwari Anekakodi Pradakshana Prarthana Namaskaran Samarpayami Anaya Puja Sri Maheshwari Priyatam Om Tatsat Ananto Brahme Vyajanat Ananta Deva Kalpiman Bhutani Jayante Anante Jatani Jivanti Anantam Prayante Avishamti Sankiti Seshabhat Kaviva Vidya Paramebhyo Manpratishthita Jaye Mambe Sarasvarjadishthati Annavanandato Bhavati Mahan Savati Prajaya Purabir Brahmavarshasena Mahan Vidya Hara
Om. The next item in the program is the unveiling of a small book. The book has its origin in the ongoing classes. So there were 2 camps, each 1 week, where the focus was Vishnu Sahasranama and Srimad Ramayanam Sundarakanda. And out of those 2 weeks teaching, a small book has taken shape, entirely due to the efforts of Srimati Swamini Srividyananda, Terence Ko, Kishore Narayan, and other friends. So, therefore it was felt that this is the right occasion, on the happy occasion of Diwali, we can unveil this book. And Shri Piyush Shah, the treasurer of Arsha Vidyapitham, is in our midst. He is a long-time associate of Puja Swamiji, and he is my dear friend of mine for 2.5 decades. And therefore, I feel it is very much in the fitness of things that he unveils this book now on this happy and auspicious occasion. Om. Some announcements. Yeah. Thank you. It's an honor.
Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parambaram. Om Pranam Swamiji. Pranams everybody. Welcome you all for the Diwali program. And first, because we just released the book, if somebody were to ask me a question, what are the books you would recommend if for both Vedantins and non-Vedantins? So 3 books come to my mind. One is Sri Rudram, universally supported by all our teachers. Puja Swamiji has written a commentary on it. Tattvavidanandaji has released a book during the anniversary. Swami Tattvavidanandaji talked about it just a month ago. So that is number one book. And the second is the Vishnu Sahasranama. That is also Puja Swamiji has written a book, and that has more than 720 plus pages. And no doubt our Swamiji is taking, this is the second year Swamiji is teaching Vishnu Sahasranama. So I'm sure it will go on for another 5 years. So that is another, another chanting you can learn. It's worth the learning. And thirdly, of course, Sri Dakshinamurti Stotram. Puja Swamiji has a book, Tattvavidanandaji has a book, and I'm sure even Vedanta has talked about it. I'm sure he has some books. It's on the way if it is not already there. So these are the three books universally supported by all our acharyas. And I recommend, you're all bhaktas here, both Advaitins and those who are becoming Advaitins. So all of you can learn to recite these chants if you like, and make use of the meaning already given by our acharyas. And then one more thing I want to say is, there is a question sometimes people ask, why worship an idol? So this question Swamiji, Puja Swamiji has addressed in a book called Ishvara in One's Life. So this book, that is this book, Ishvara in One's Life, in this Swamiji devotes, Puja Swamiji devotes 3 pages on why we should worship an idol. So, essentially saying that, even for Advaitin, all that here is Ishvara. We say, what is Ishvara? So you can invoke Ishvara in anything you want. So that being the case, all forms are Ishvara's forms. You choose the form you like, and that's your form, what we call Ishta Devata. Why worship an idol? Means it's already there are already laid out way of relating to the Lord. So I don't have to invent how to relate to the Lord. Swamiji used to say, form without spirit, without form, it's a ghost. So we all need forms to relate, and why not a form for, we have forms for everything, why not a form for a devotee trying to invoke the Lord? So anyway, more you can read in the book, Swamiji's book, Ishvara in One's Life. So that's about that. While addressing that, that's a typical question asked by any children who study here, because in schools, their children might not be, other children might be telling them, you shouldn't worship an idol, that's not allowed. So like that, children may have many questions because they are having dual culture. They came from India and they're growing up with a different culture at home, different from culture and outside. So Puja Swamiji has created these family Vedanta retreat programs. So we have several of them, pretty much all long weekends, and in addition to long weekends like Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, Independence Day, etc. And also week-long family camps are there, where parents, while they learn with our acharyas, kids also parallelly learn about their culture and worship, yoga, chanting, etc. So for next year we have several of them. You can enroll your children 6 and above and take the opportunity. And it also, for them, it's like a support system they develop. So that's that. And then coming to today's thing, our Swamiji, as you know, Tattvavidanandaji has been teaching here since our Patrons Day weekend retreat. And he did, after the Patrons Day weekend retreats, 2 one-week courses on Vishnu Sahasranama. and he took along our Muktatmanji with him to teach Viduraniti. And same thing that continued with the 5-week Vedanta course, while Swamiji taught Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Swami Muktatmanji assisted him with teaching Sanskrit through Viduraniti. So I'm very happy to announce we are going to have a similar schedule next year. So we are going to have Swamiji is coming scheduled to come back for Patrons Retreat next year, followed by 2 one-week courses. Vishnu Sahasranama Swamiji will teach, and that will continue. And then Brahma Sutra Bhashya, that will also continue. I understand Swamiji has completed nearly the Janmadhyasya Yataha. The second sutra almost is complete, and Swamiji is planning to complete the third sutra also, and the fourth one likely will be the one that will be done next year. That's Swami Tattvavidanandaji's program. And coming up next, our Gurukulam program, and also I forgot to mention, Swamiji, after completing these programs and conducting Sunday Gita class here, first Sunday class in November, Swamiji will be going to Phoenix, and he is going to be giving talks there for 3 weeks on I believe Atma Bodha. Correct, Swamiji? Atma Bodha. So if those of you who are interested can go there. It's a little warmer climate, and so you can join that. And so regarding Gurukulam programs, now we have coming up Thanksgiving retreat, followed by year-end Christmas retreat. For the Thanksgiving retreat, Swami Muktatmanji will be talking about meditation on the meditator. So, and then he will be joined by Swami Tattvavidanandaji, and he will be talking on Advaita Pancharatnam. That's for Thanksgiving. And for year-end retreat, Swamiji will be talking on Brihadaranyaka Upanishad verse Atmanam Chet Vijaniyat. And then Swamiji will be joined by Swami Tattvavidanandaji on Taittiriya Upanishad 2.9 verse. I believe Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasa Saha. And so that portion, she will be talking about it. So if you want to learn Upanishad, and if you're not if you're free for the year-end time, Christmas time, please come register for it. Vimala tells me people call at the last moment for accommodation, and it's always a difficult thing. So for Thanksgiving, if you can, please make up your mind in the next 2 weeks, and year-end you have some more time. So that's that. And thirdly, I want to also mention briefly, many of you are devotees who believe in worship. So we have on December 31st, there's going to be Dakshinamurti Moola Mantra Japa at 9 a.m. You're all welcome to join for that. And if you missed that, you can come for New Year Day Puja on January 1st, same time. That's a good way to start the new year. I'm sure Muktatmanji will be here to give Anugraha Bhashanam on that day, along with Swatma Vidyaji. And apart from that, we have next. So what do we do? I mean, do you guys all the time do worship? Is that all you do? I mean, so we do, because we do have a temple. There is everyday puja. Nitya puja is there, morning, evening, and lunchtime, before lunch when it's permitted. But primary focus of the Gurukulam is Vedanta. Next year schedule will be out. After the program, you can take the schedule outside. And we have several Upanishads being taught next year. 7 of the major Upanishads, Ishavasya Upanishad, Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, then Chandogya Upanishad, then Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. All these 7 major Upanishads on which Shankara has written commentary is being talked about next year. Of course, these are all, some of them are very big Upanishads, like Chandogya Upanishad is very big, and but from that only the key thing is being taught, Tattvamasi, and who wouldn't want to know that? And many of you are Uttama Adhikaris, so you may be able to get it in weekend. So Tattwamasi is being taught on just weekend retreat. So please join us for that if possible. And also Swami Vidya Maharaj is going to be teaching Mandukya Upanishad. He's planning to teach that as part of one of the family camp. And Swamiji also will be talking about teaching on Kaivalya Upanishad, even though it's not considered a major Upanishad, but I understand it is referred in Brahma Sutra Bhashya, so that is also given a good status among the Upanishad. So that's, I think that pretty much is what I want to say. And also in addition to these programs, we have our Agama Swami Agamananji and also our teachers here, sisters, Suryaji, etc., helping with not only children's program, and also Agamanji teaches regularly meditation workshop, in addition to Swami Ramanandaji. And Swami Swatmananji is also here. He also does outreach. He just came back from a trip to Europe. And we are happy to announce he has joined our team of residents supporting the Gurukulam by actively participating in our day-to-day activities. Our Swami Yananji is currently in India. Before he left, he made him in charge of maintenance department as well as development activities that happens at the Gurukulam. So he's going to brief you on what is the current development. You will be happy to hear that. And just before he comes, I just want to say, after Swamiji finishes, Swami Tattvavidanandaji, what you have been waiting for, Atma Jyothi, he will talk about that. That will be followed by dinner. And so thank you all for coming. Namaste.
Thank you, Gary G, and pranams to you all. As many of you know, or some of you might know, we are constructing a new building, but where? In order to construct this new building, we are tearing down 3 buildings that are here, and if you come out of the temple, on your left, the first 3 buildings, that is Bhavani, Godavari, and Gomati, will be torn down. This will happen probably sometime next spring, and hopefully then we'll put in a new building which will have 2 floors, 12 units at the bottom, 12 units on top. Now this building has been designated a name by our Swami Tattvavidanandaji, and he calls it Vashishta. So, beautiful name given to a good building. Now, this building had 3 designs which were submitted to the board of directors this summer. And in these 3 designs, one of the design was drawn up by me. And in drawing up this plan, I included a number of factors and considerations that came up. One of them is that we had to put this building within the constraints of drainage that's already in place, number one. Number two, I did not want to chop down more trees. I tried to limit cutting down as many trees as possible. Thirdly, I also, within these constraints, I included Vastu principles in the design. Along with that, airflow, because a movement of air is really important. Another factor, movement of pedestrian, because pedestrian movement and traffic is important, but if they congregate right in front of rooms, then it disturbs other people, so that was taken into consideration. Security, not only security from outsiders, but also from bears and other animals. That was also taken into consideration. Noise, some of you have spent some time here, you might be hearing trucks at night, And because I've been traveling quite extensively, one of the issues I've become super sensitive about is noise. So now I'm an expert on noise in this ashram. So noise is a big problem, especially in the upper floors. So that also has been taken into consideration. Now, as we continue to build this building, two other factors I'll also I'll give importance to is basically the energy efficiency and also movement around the building. So including Vastu, I'm hoping that not only that it will improve the energy of the building itself, but it will also improve the building, the energy of the buildings nearby, and hopefully also for the whole entire ashram. Now, when will this all happen? At this stage, the application has been submitted to the town council because we cannot do anything without their approval. They needed some more answers before they could approve it. Unfortunately, our consultants who are working with us, they're quite busy, so that could not be delivered this month. When I checked with them, they said the earliest that they could deliver would be next month. So the council meets once a month. So we are just at the mercy of these two guys, and when we get their approval, it gets submitted to the town center or the town council. If it makes it for next month, we'll get the answer next month. If not, it will be December. Now, once we have their permission, the next thing that will happen is I'm going to draw up a brochure and also instructions, because this is where you come in. The reason why I was mentioning all the considerations about the design was now, in order to build this building, of course, we have to raise money. And that's where you come in. And out of these 24 units, the board has decided that each unit is about $200,000 that we're asking for. And these units, by the way, are designed based on the Marriott suites. So some of you have been in a Marriott suite, you know what it looks like. But also, if you have visited one of our Vyasa buildings, that's kind of how it will be done. But I also included Vastu design in the inside of the structure. So basically, it will be quite efficient, functional, and you won't find a lot of wasted spaces in these units. So oh yeah, the other thing that I did consider, because as we're placing the building, was that I was looking at the sunlight movement. So obviously, we would like the rooms to have ample sunlight. So it's all strategically placed in that way, and I was quite pleased when the board approved this design. Timeline in terms of how you can participate. So once we have the approval, because without having the approval, we don't know how the building will look like. They might tell us to redesign it or change it. When we have their approval, we will send out a brochure, we'll make an announcement. That's within a week. As soon as they give us an approval, within a week, we'll make an announcement which will come out through emails. Or also, we have some names already of folks who are interested to sponsor each of these units. We will send an announcement directly to everybody. Now, this brochure will also have guidelines as to how you can participate and what is expected of you, what is expected of us, and so on. Now, if you do accept those guidelines, then you send us your information. There'll be an application form. Once you submit the application form, the Vashishta committee will meet and invite you to come and participate in the sponsorship. Now, here's how it's going to. We try to create a very transparent and open system. So once you are invited, you will be able to come in and reserve a unit, but you can only choose a unit after you have made a full payment of $200,000. Once you have made a complete payment of $200,000, then you have the privilege to choose where you want the unit within the complex. By that time, we'll probably have more detailed architectural drawings. In the beginning, you'll be able to reserve a unit, but in terms of the selection of the unit is only after you've made a full payment. So this is sort of some of the design and setup that we have for the new building. If you would like to reserve or you would need more information, please feel free to leave your name and contact in the office. And I think there's a little cubicle if you just leave it with Vimlaji or somebody in the office. And once we have the full details, then I can send it directly to you instead of you waiting for an announcement. The last thing I would say is that if you have further questions, just catch me around, well, maybe not tonight, but anytime that you see me around if you need to know more information about it. Thank you for your attention, and now, Swamiji, please. Looking forward to your talk.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Shruti Smriti Purana Mahalayam Karunalayam Mani Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Atma Swarupa Bandhukana. Before I start the topic of Atma Jyothi, I have to say that I have forgotten to mention two names in the preparation of this book. Those names are mentioned in the book in the acknowledgement, and those names are Ganesh Vishwanathan and Chandrasekhar Vishwanathan. So, then one more word about this book. It's a small book, but in America there seems to be inflation. So it took $2.7 to print a copy. And so you can get a copy within $3. You have to add some tax and all that. So they are available in the bookstore. Now the topic for today's discussion on this auspicious occasion of Deepavali is Atma Jyothi. And I have two verses before me. I am very conscious that I am standing in between you and a sumptuous dinner waiting there. I am conscious of that fact. And but having given the handout to you, we will study these two verses briefly. The first verse is by Shankara, is a prakaranam called Ekashloki. As the name suggests, it is a prakarana text with only one verse, and that is the verse before you. And the second verse is from Gita. So we will address these two verses. Let us start now without losing any time. You may say with me, Kinjyotistava bhanumanahani me ratrau Pradipādikam Syadevam Ravideepadarshana vidhau Kinjyotirakhyāhi me Chikshustasya Nimīlanādi samaye Kim dhīr dhiyo darshane Kim tatrāhamato Bhavan paramakam Jyotistadasmi prabho You see, I will ask you a question, but before eliciting answer from you, I'll give one or two illustrations. What is the essence of the human being? That is the question. I will ask it, just wait. Let me give one or two examples. Let us say, suppose if someone asks, what is the essence of a horse? The answer is running. What is the essence of a bull? The answer is carrying the loads. Now you tell me, what is the essence of a human being? I give two choices. Don't be in a hurry to answer. I give two choices. A, doing. B, knowing. Now you please answer. Knowing. Oh, knowing. Good, they are all Vedanta students now. So, the essence of the human being is not doing, is knowing. Because in the human being, there are two elements. You must have heard Atma and Anatma. They are not somewhere out there, they are in you. Atma is the knowing element in you, knowing element. And Anatma is the body-mind, which is the doing apparatus. Psychophysical apparatus, the doing apparatus, and the knowing element within that apparatus. So therefore, in this they are by name, they are obviously named as Atma and Anatma. So, in that, the knowing element, Atma, is you. The doing element is not you. It is other than you. Anatma means what? Not you. Atma is you. Atma means you. And therefore, the knowing element is you. You have to know that. People do not know the difference between the doing and knowing. They get confused that doing and knowing are same. Suppose you ask someone, what are you? He says, I am an engineer. Therefore, I am is the Atma, engineer is the job he does. And did he not confuse her? Did he confuse her not? He has confused. He has confused himself as the doer. That is the confusion. This is how we live. We all believe that we are the doers. We are not the doers. There is doing. You are not the doer. Then what are you? You are the knowing element. This is the message in one verse by Shankara. Now let us look at the message. So he is asking, it is all question-answer kind of a verse in which the Acharya, the blessed Shankara, engages us and he is asking us. So the idea is you should not get fixated on something. You should always ask the questions. In science, you ask questions. In philosophy, you ask questions. In religion, you don't ask questions because you believe. That is the difference between the two. Now let us start ask a question. Are you okay with questions? Let us start asking questions. He is asking. Shankara is asking. Kin Jyothi tava bhanumanahani. That is the question. The question and answer are put in the form of a verse. Look at that scheme. He is asking, tava to you, ahani during the daytime, kim jyotihi. What is the light? You need light, right? You see the whole world and you make conclusions about the world. You talk about the world, you interact with the world, and you do a lot of mischief also in the world. Please don't mind, okay? This is Deepavali time. Wish you all happy Deepavali. I forgot that. Now I remember. So we do so much mischief in the world also. Even to do mischief, you need light. All children are playing and a lot of mischief they are doing. Suppose electricity is gone. Now, everything comes to a sudden halt. Therefore, even to do mischief, what to speak of to purposefully engage in the world, to interact in the world, to do many chores in the world, you need light, right? You need light. But you tell me, we have this tendency to neglect or to ignore the light. We are so busy with the physical things that we ignore the light. Suppose I ask you, what is here? Hand. Now what is there? Nothing, you say. But there is light. Without light you could not have seen the hand. So when I take away the hand, it is not nothing, there is light. Now you answer the question. That's the question put. What is the light for you during the daytime? That is the question. And he answers, Bhanumanahani, during the Kin Jyotistava. That is the question. That is the question. Okay? What is the light to you in your life? He answers, Bhanumanahani me ratrau pradipadikam. That is the answer to the question. You got the point? So what is the light to you? During the daytime, the sun is the light. Ahani Bhanuman. Okay, but what about me to me? But what about night? Ratrau pradipadikam. When it is night, sun is not around. It's not that sun has vanished. Don't think that sun has vanished. Sun doesn't vanish, okay? The earth, some of you may not know, that's why I'm saying. The earth is not flat, okay? It is round. And one half of it is facing the sun and receiving the sunlight. The other half is in darkness. So it turns around itself. Therefore, the half, the hemisphere, which was in the light, now it comes into the darkness. That is the night. That is how it happens. Nothing happens to the sun. Sun remains ever the same. We turn our back to the sun as of now. Now it is that. So what is the light you have now to know things? So all these lights are there. Pradipadikam. And today is Deepavali. Look at that, how many lights are put, any Deepa. How many lamps are lighted there? The lamp is the source of light. So many lamps. And an array of lamps. That is Deepa Avalihi, an array of lamps. That helps us to see things, to continue to interact with the world, and sometimes to continue the mischief also. Okay? That is the night part. Okay? Then the one who is asking the question, namely the Acharya, he is saying, Syadevam, you have answered correctly. Indeed, that is so. Syadevam. But now one more question is coming. Akhyahime, he says at the end, Akhyahime, you tell me this you tell me. What is that? Ravideepa darshana vidhau kin jyotihi. During the daytime, you look at the sun. So now the sun is seen. And what is the light in which you see the sun? Did you get the question? You see everything in the sunlight. But what is the light that sees the sunlight? And then during the night, you see things in the light of all these lamps and those lamps too. But then, what is the light that sees these lamps? Deepa. So the light that sees the sun, Ravi, the light that sees the lamps, Deepa, what is that light? Now you tell me, Akhyahime, this you tell me. This is called quantum shift. With this, your outgoing attitude, your attitude of looking out is over. Now you have to look within. You are obliged to look within. People are trained to look without all the time. But a stage should come, you stop looking without and start looking within. Should you do it or not? This is Vedanta. Vedanta is, you say Vedanta, but what is the synonym for Vedanta? Adhyatma Vidya. I talk like a headmaster, please don't mind, okay? So Adhyatma Vidya, that is Vedanta. It is not Jagad Vidya. It is not Deva Vidya. Vedanta is not Deva Vidya, not Jagad Vidya. It is Adhyatma Vidya. What is in you, that is the Vidya it is. Therefore, now the quantum shift happens. So instead of looking out and trying to find the source of light, whether it is the sun or the lamps or whatever, moon also the source of light during the night. So instead of looking for the source of light outside, now what is the light that helps you to see all these sources of light? That is the light within. There is a light in you. And you can immediately answer the question very simply. The answer is Chakshuhu. That is the answer. Second line, we have come to the second line. Chakshuhu is the answer. The eyesight. There is a light in the eyes, right? You know that? There is a light in the eyes. Because there is a light in the eyes, you are able to see the light of the sun and the light of all these lamps. Suppose that light in the eyes is not there, then sun will be shining very brilliantly, lamps will be shining 1,000 candle bulb also you put there, you will not be able to see. There is a light in the eyes. Chakshuhu. Chakshuhu, the word itself is derived from a dhatu chakshing, which means to see. Chakshuhu. Therefore, now you have shifted from outgoing attitude, oh, that light, this light, from that attitude, you have shifted within. The quantum shift happened. This is the 180 degrees shift. This you have to do with Ishvara. You have to do with Ishvara, this shift. That is the purpose. Chakshuhu. So the eyesight is the light with which I see these sources of light, namely the sun during the day and the moon, lamps, etc. during the night. This is the light. Okay? Then one more question. You have to go deeper now. You have to go deeper. Okay? This is not some storytelling. You have to go deeper. I told you I will teach like a headmaster, right? So, Tasya nimilanadi samaye kim. That is the next question. Suppose you close the eyes. Now is there a light in you or not? Now light is not physical light anymore. This is the light of knowingness. That is the light. Light is not physical light. Outside it is physical light. Once you go within, it is not physical light. Now don't start, oh, there is a blue light in my heart, a red light in my neck. Don't start all that. That is all unnecessary. That is not the right thing. Some light flashing here, etc. That is all the trick played by your mind upon you. So don't repeat the trick upon others. Okay? Therefore, the light within is not a physical light. It is the metaphorical light. And that light is the knowingness. Let us say, the knowingness. That is the light. This is how I started the very first question. What is your essence? Doing or knowing? So you answered your essence is the knowing. That light, the knowing element, or simply knowingness, that is the light. That light is there. Now when you close the eyes, you are able to know that you have closed the eyes or not. You know. When the eyes are open, you know that the eyes are open and seeing things. But that is a bit difficult. Oh, I am seeing. Not only I am seeing, but also I know that I am seeing. That is a bit difficult. But that viveka is also there. But then when you close the eyes, now I am not seeing, but I know that I am not seeing. Therefore there is that inner light. Light inner to the eyes. What is that? The answer is Dhihi, the mind. Mind is that light. Okay? Now you tell me, when the mind is, suppose mind has many states, ever changing it is. When the mind is, suppose, unhappy, do you know it or not? You know. Suppose mind has many moods, you know. Do you know those moods of the mind or not? You know. Mind is happy. You are partying. Mind is happy. You know that the mind is happy or not? You know. That's why you are partying. Suppose the mind is not happy, you do not throw a party. You throw a party only when the mind is happy. But first you should know that the mind is happy. You know it. What are you talking? We know that the mind is happy. How do you know? How do you know that the mind is happy? So, the mind has multiple states. Happy, unhappy, neutral. Means neither happy nor unhappy, just quiet. Quiet, restless, agitated, morose, angry, jealous, compassionate, loving. So many states of mind are there. And they are ever changing, like Pennsylvania weather. The mind moods are ever changing. And you should ask this question. You don't ask this question. You ask all kinds of questions. You don't ask this question. What is that light by which I am able to see the ever-changing mind? That question you should ask. That is Vedanta. Till then it is not Vedanta. So, till then it is psychology or whatever. Outside is physics or chemistry. Inside up to mind it is psychology. Now begins the real Vedanta. So he is asking, Dhiyo darshane kim. You are able to see the ever-changeful mind. Dhiyaha darshane. You are able to see your ever-changeful mind. And in see same as know. You are able to know your ever-changeful mind. You get hold of that point. You see, you have to come to that point. Just as the fish live in the ocean of water, just as the birds live in the ocean of air, just so you live in the ocean of that light inside you. Light Atma is you. And that illuminates the mind. That is what comes to know the mind. In the light of that Atma, the mind is becoming evident. Mind is unhappy, the Atma, that is you, know it. Mind is happy, you know it. So, you always know the mind. Whatever is happening in the mind, you always know it. That means there is a light inner to the mind. That inner light which illuminates the mind. And through mind illuminates the eyes. And through eyes illuminates the whole world, including the sun, moon, and all these lights. The worldly person is busy with all these lights. He is attracted by all these lights. The religious person is attracted by those lights above. The sun is the light and the moon is the light, etc. Stars are not light, that is what people believe. Stars are more brilliant than the sun itself. So, that is the religious person, always looking up towards the moon, sun, and making calculations, etc. And the worldly person always looking around, what kind of light we should put here. This light will be beautiful, that light will be beautiful. Interior decoration, it is not interior, it is exterior decoration. You should name it exterior. It is not interior. You are the interior. So, but nobody is interested in that inner light. I am not saying about you, people in the world. You are all students of Vedanta. So, you have to ask that question. What is that light which illuminates? You see, I have already decided to drop the second verse, okay? Feel ease. It is not possible to finish that way. So, Dhiyo darshane kim? You have to ask that question. You hold on to this question. What is it that illuminates the mind? What is it that knows the mind? What is it that knows the mind? You live with that question, you will realize the self. Because that inner light which illuminates the mind is always present. It is present during the entire waking state, illuminating the mind. It's absolutely necessary to associate yourself with that inner light. You cannot constantly ignore it. That is not the way it works. You have to associate yourself with that inner light. That is the Atma. You have to associate with your true knowing element within you. You cannot associate with yourself with the body-mind and then with the world connected with the body-mind. That is not the way to proceed. You have to associate yourself with that inner light. So, and whether you appreciate it today, on the Deepavali day, what? You have to associate yourself with that inner light, which is ever present, which is illuminating all the ever-changing states of mind, which is illuminating the ears, the eyes, the ears, etc., the sense organs. And then we will do it after so many births. Don't say like that. That is not the point. The point is, you have to associate yourself with that inner light now and here. The Deepavali time is the right time. And that is the reality. Whether you associate yourself correctly with that inner light, that is the reality. And it must be realized sooner or later by all. Don't create reasons for not associating with that inner light. Don't create systems, reasons, structures, etc., so that you can postpone or avoid associating with that inner light. Don't do such a silly thing. Do it now. You associate yourself with that inner light. So, dhiyo darshane kim. What is it that sees the movements of the mind? That is the question. Then the answer, he says, tatraham, that is myself. That inner light is myself. Then the Acharya says,